Here we are in California, and we recently just finished a series that we did of our journey from Milwaukee to California for the winter. And we showed different things like the harvest host that we stayed at. We showed RV parks, RV resorts. We showed a truck stop we stayed at. Plus we showed some of our travel day adventures. It was actually 12 stops we made in 19 days. But there are two places we didn't show, and those were our adventure days. And I was going to do this video on one of our stops, one of our adventure days, along with the RV park that we stayed at. But this adventure that we went on was, it's a bucket list for me. It was so incredible. Mother Earth is amazing. So I'm going to leave that just for itself, because the RV park we stayed at, I wanted to show you why we stayed there. And I also wanted to show you the good and the bad of our Journey in Myles. So we had a rough start. Actually, the RV park was an adventure in itself. I don't know if we were just having a bad day or what it was going on, but we had a bad start. It turned out okay. So you gotta wonder, was it us or?
So over the 3 years that we've been full-time, people have wanted us to get more experienced at boondocking and staying at places where we don't necessarily have to hook up. And I've got to be honest with you, you are going to be amazed at what we have just accomplished. We're amazed. We packed up last Monday. Today is Sunday. We packed up last Monday with all of our piping and everything, and all we had was our electric hooked up because we were going to a repair facility. Tomorrow is Monday, and we're going to be pulling in the afternoon to a full hookup place. We were actually at a full hookup place yesterday because we anticipated possibly being full and needing it. We didn't have to hook up, and we're at a full hookup place today, and we didn't have to hook up. And we discovered if we're really diligent, especially with our dishwashing, certainly with our showers, we were only able to squeak in one shower this week. So, you know, we went 2 or 3 days and then took a shower. But it's not like we're doing jumping jacks every day. In fact, it's like 50, 60, and 40 degrees. So you're not even breaking a sweat. We're pretty impressed that we were able to do that because we thought we were going to hook up on yesterday when we were at the Double D campground, and so we kind of abused the privilege the night before when we took a bunch of showers, myself included. And you know, when you got to rinse that hair, it takes a lot of water. But then when we got to the full hookup place and we still had tank capacity, we didn't do anything. So we're happy to report that we've been able to go 1 week with this baby with hardly any effort at all. We have 105 gallons of water, fresh water. We have 65 gray, and I believe we have 45 black. So, honey, aren't you proud of me for not... What was some of the stuff that I was going to make up?
So I am proud of him because he toned it down. He was going to totally gross y'all out with stories and like, don't say that, that's not true. He's like, no, it's funny, it'll be gross. Thank you for not doing that. What he said was true.
Let's at least give him one.
Give him one?
Okay.
Recording started.
Assuming you're going to want to watch the wheels.
Please drive to highlighted route.
You like to do that.
And actually, the bad start was not the bad start to our day. It was more a frustrating check-in at the campground we're heading to. Right now we're in Clovis, New Mexico at the Travelers World Campground. It was just a one-night stay for us. And now we're heading down to Carlsbad.
The antenna is down, but just look at it anyways to get in the habit.
Looks good. Your blinker is good. Yep, brakes look good. Wheels are a turning, looking good.
Permission to come aboard.
Your captain.
So we always go through our routine when we're taking off. Make sure blinkers are working, brake lights are working, and also make sure the wheels are turning on the Honda. Then we're ready to roll.
So I'm turning right when I get out of here.
Yeah.
Alright. What time is it?
We should break this down. What time is it? 8:47.
Come on!
We did it.
It's a miracle. When you don't have to do anything, it's easy to get going. Alright, turning right.
Roger that. Turning right.
Going back to Clovis.
Turn right on US 60.
Sounds like a song. I'm going back to Clovis.
Really, you think?
Not really.
I'm not too sure about that.
Or like when you're cooking meatloaf. I think I forgot to put the Clovis on.
Oh my God. So 3 miles, we'll take a right on 70. Highway 7.
Yeah, okay.
Highway 7.
Oh, I didn't have my comfort drive set. I know something. What should I set it to?
4
4.756.
Oh God. Is that truly what you always say?
Okay, so the first thing you're going to notice here is that we are not on an expressway or an interstate. And what we found, like many states out west, that as the population drops off in any given area, there's an interstate that goes through it, but it might not be real close to where you need to be, or worse yet, it might not go at all where you want to be, and you have to take a diagonal road that's typically something like this. In between the towns, you'll find the straight, unpopulated sections like this, and it's actually quite a relaxing ride. But sooner or later, uptown will pop up, and this is when you have to pay attention because you don't want to get caught in one of the proverbial money-generating speed traps for the town. As you progress coming through a town like this, you're like, oh my God, should I really be on this road? Are there any trucks? Oh yeah, there they are. And then you instantly feel better. And as towns would go, this wasn't bad at all. Now, it's nice to think that we all have the time to spend hours and hours pre-planning every single move along the way, but trust me, it doesn't work that way unless you're super anal retentive. As we were driving along here, we discovered that not only did we need a fuel stop, but we actually needed a bathroom stop before the fuel stop. And so we started looking for a fuel stop, but there was none to be had. This was a pretty desolate area. So that's about the time that you start thinking about what your contingency plans are, pulling over to the side of the road or pulling on an entry and exit ramp. But lo and behold, look what popped up, this giant area in between the lanes. Now, it more than likely was put here for a construction project, maybe, when they were zigging and zagging left lane to right lane or right lane to left lane. But it quite honestly could also be for the very use that we're using it in now, where we're going to stop. I'm going to quick run back and use the restroom. I have my blinkers on, my four-way flashers, and in a few moments, boom, we're back on the road. It was really a welcome sight to see. After almost 4 years on the road, Sue and I are continually trying to improve on what we do and how we travel. And one of the things we see with one of the channels that we follow Eric Jacobs on Nomadic Fanatic, we see that he just drops in at a moment's notice at a place and seems to be able to just pull over his RV Miranda just about anywhere, anytime, anyway.
Not this light, but maybe the next light.
You can look, I'm going to drive.
All right, we're not going to attempt.
Okay. You just witnessed when we both chickened out, and in a moment here you'll see that we literally drive right by the front of the Roswell, New Mexico UFO Museum. Now, it turns out that there was parking in the back, but it really was not big rig friendly, and you had to be the type of person that would either park in a business's lot and just totally disregard the fact that you're there, or maybe go check with the proprietor to see if it was okay. I think we probably had ants in our pants, and we were maybe getting a little bit too close to our destination or maybe our upcoming fuel stop, and we just threw in the blanket. Nomadic Fanatic, he was parking there. I can tell you that after 4 years of traveling, we really haven't had trouble ever getting fuel, and in fact this time we didn't have trouble. But it was a little different for us because it sort of forced us into a pilot, which we don't go to anymore because our TSD logistics card does not save us any money here. So we go to everybody else. But because we were in a small town and there's only so many truck stops that can service and stay financially viable in a small town, this was it. What you saw there on that pump being displayed was the fact that I paid $2.59 a gallon to get filled up. Now in the distance is a shamrock, and as I'm driving out of here, you'll see that the price at that shamrock, that if I had really worked on it, I would have fit in there, was $2.09. The takeaway here should be that if this had been a TA, a Love's, or a Petro, or one of the other hundreds and hundreds of places that did participate in TSD logistics programs, that my $2.59 truck big rig friendly fill-up would have dropped by about the 44-cent average that I've been realizing with my card, and would have dropped that $2.59 price down to $2.15, which is certainly competitive with Ma and Pa Shamrock here.
So on our way out to California, we were going through New Mexico, and we really wanted to see the Carlsbad Caverns National Park. So we're checking out a lot of different RV parks, and we actually decided we needed to go to the Whites City RV Park, and mainly because it's just really close. And I got this from their website. So as you can see, as the crow flies, the Cavern is only 4 miles from the RV park, whereas the other RV parks are more like 25 or more miles away. But we're not flying like the crows. So as the minivan drives, you can see going up this really windy road, it's more like 7 miles, but that still sure beats the 25 or more miles from the other RV parks. So I'm not sure if we were just having a bad day or if we were just missing some of the signs to get into this place. They weren't real obvious. Most of the RV parks we go to have really obvious signs and arrows showing you where to go, especially if you're a big rig, and then also show where you're supposed to go to register. This one just was not obvious.
Register here, RV park register here. 1B. So it's like we gotta go up and do a U-turn. doing?
Check in. Everybody's coming the other way.
So because we are so big, we're usually pretty cautious on where we go, just to make sure that we don't get stuck or can't figure out how to get out. But as you can see, this little sign is all we saw. Then over here was the registration. And there are some rigs off to the left you can see parked, but we weren't quite sure if that's where we're supposed to go. So right here is probably where we should have turned in and made a U-turn. And I'm going to say right here would have been a great place for a sign directing us to the left, enter here, and some arrows on the pavement just to show us where we're supposed to park this big thing. Off to the side you can see there are a lot of RVs parked right there, but we're still not sure just where we should be going. But then we saw way off into the distance there's a big sign that says RV park entrance. So we thought, well, let's try that.
RV park entrance. Register before entering. Okay, great. Oh, you're saying
Just park it here.
I don't know where. I'm thinking we got to go back.
Right. So we can walk back. Danger exit only. We call. Hi, we had called about getting in for a couple nights here, and we're up at the sign that says RV park entrance. We have no idea where we're supposed to be registering. Up by the grocery store. Okay, can we? We've got a big rig. Can we just leave it here and walk up there, or do we have to turn this darn thing around? So we need to go up there. Okay, all right, we're turning around. Thank you. Our spot is next to them, so we've got to wait.
Well, do you think I can get up there? Is that Danger. Exit only. Clear damage. Exit only.
Don't.
Perfect.
Didn't see that.
Perfect.
That's kind of steep. We're going to climb them out. I'm going to get rid of the car so you can back it up.
Okay. All right. Testing.
Gotcha. We need to make sure you stay far on the driver's side to avoid that branch again.
Okay, Roger.
Good. Okay. All right, I'll follow you.
Why don't you go drive up there and see if I should go where that white Jeep is in that Class A?
Out. How are you getting it out of here? Oh, looks like up here. Yeah, I guess you could. It's by the gas station, but I guess you could park back here.
Well, this has been probably the most inefficient, screwed up registration process at any place.
Go to the driver's or the passenger side just a little bit more. Swing it out. Looking good.
Should I just straighten it out now?
Yep.
All right, we made it. And it really wasn't that bad. It was just a little frustrating. But we did get a spot right up front. We're only going to be here for 2 days, so this spot is just fine, full hookups. So now let's check out White City. Population 85.
So let's check.
Oh yeah,
the
the
town
bikes
out,
are
right?
there. Okay.
What do you think?
It's right across the street, nothing to check out.
Well, come on, just pan real slow. Put it in slow motion when you put it in editing, so it looks more impressive.
In the 1920s, Charlie White brought his family on vacation to visit the Carlsbad Cavern, and he had this idea to buy the land right by the entrance of the cave. His 290-acre commercial resort started out as just a single home and a few visitor units, plus a gas station. But now it actually has a water park and a hotel, a cafe, gas station, grocery store, visitor center. But still, it's pretty small for a city.
You can see this kind of a nice.
It's nice, yeah.
place, yeah.
And from what I understand, everything here is owned by one person, including the gas station.
Wow.
Yep. And the RV park is actually part of the city also. So let's check that out. We actually were parked right along here. And this section actually does have some cabins. I took a walk down this road. It's a much lower level, and there's more RVs and a tent area over here. So as I come up the road, this is the back level, and you can see there's plenty of room for different kinds of RVs. And then off to the right, you've got the bathhouses, shelter. Look at that sunset, wow. Then way back here, this is all tent area. Really nice. Look at that sunset. Wow. So if you look in the background there, you can see Miles. Here we are. Whole family's coming out. Don't worry, Mama, I'm not going to hurt your babies. I'm not going to hurt them. Just taking a picture. And as I go back down this road, getting back to our rig, you can see there's a couple cottages. This is on the middle level, but there's also room for RVs to park here too. So this is the check-in area, where they've got a grocery store, a few other things, arcade. And this is actually where we are. We are like right in front by the road. This must be where all the 1 night, 2 night people stay. This really is a great place to stay if you're going to Carlsbad Cavern National Park. The location just can't be beat. Plus there's so many other things to do in the area too. But tomorrow, we're getting up early. We're hitting the cavern. Thanks for joining us on our journey.